So welcome to the real episode 1.
The beat as things I did 20 years ago. What I did 20 years ago is what they're doing tomorrow.
Alright, so as far as getting the clear coat situation straightened out, as you can see in this video here, it was just peeling everywhere. The whole top of the cab was wrecked, down the sides near the windows, the top of the one fender that was still painted a factory color was wrecked. It just, as a matter of fact, the whole top of the cab was completely missing the clear coat. So first thing I did was I went ahead and scraped off all the loose clear coat using plastic razor blades. They work really good. They don't damage the paint so much. They still leave marks, but it's better than trying to scrape it with something metal. So anyway, we did that. Sanding it would have also taken off the base coat, so I didn't really want to do that. So I went ahead, first thing I did was just scraped all the loose stuff off, and then I went around and by hand and really went at it. Took some sandpaper here and there where it was a little bit stuck to the truck, but not quite. And then once that was all done, basically it got rattle can cleared. This definitely wasn't a spray gun job. This was a temporary fix. The plan all along was to always repaint the truck when I was done with it. But in this case, I just went ahead and used a rattle can, and though that's not a very permanent solution, because for those of you who don't know the difference, spray paint is generally a non-catalyzed paint unless you buy one that's got a built-in catalyst where you have to break it first and then shake it up. But if you're not using a catalyzed paint through a spray gun or something along those lines, or a 2K as they call it, paint can, it's not a catalyzed paint and it's not very durable. It'll come off pretty easy and it'll get scraped up really easy. So if you just have to do it as a temporary solution like me, go ahead and use the spray can, but then put a really good coat of wax on it and keep a good coat of wax on it. That'll help preserve it a little better. So this truck, I had it for let's see, a little over 2 years after I painted the thing with the spray paint, and it held up pretty much the whole time without too much of an issue. It started getting a little dull toward the end, but it never started peeling or anything like that. So that was the first thing we did, was we took care of all that. And so in order to do this correctly, I had to spray down pretty far down the sides of the truck, and like I said, up on the top of the front fender. So in order to blend it with the clear coat that was already on the truck, what I did was I basically clear coated it all the way down to the body line. By bringing it all the way down to the body line, I basically hid the line. So I just put a piece of tape in there, just to tape off from the body line down, so that there was a seam. You could see the seam if you knew where to look, but it was on the body line, so you couldn't see it unless I pointed it out to you. So that's a good way to do it. If you've got a body line you can paint down to, it really helps you with that. Otherwise, you do kind of got to blend it, and then you have to do like the color sanding, and you know, it's not that hard to do, but it's just easier to put a tape line on it and call it a day. So we got that all repainted, and as you can see here, that's what it looked like. So once that clear coating was taken care of, then I needed to address getting the front end all put together. Alright, so on the front, what I went ahead and did was I just did clear corners and clear bumper lenses and used amber bulbs to keep it all legal. You know, it's really common on the imports, and they're pretty easy to come by, and they're pretty cheap, and with the whole chrome front end, the clear lights just look a little better, I think. Leaving the amber lights in there is fine. I don't have anything against it, but it just gives a little more custom, a little more clean of a look, and blends in with all that chrome a little bit better. Now the front bumper, this truck was a 1995, so the front bumper is a 3-piece bumper. So if you look close in the pictures, you'll see a vertical line at the end of the bumper. That's where the cap at the end of the bumper bolts to the rest of the bumper. In 96 and 97, the trucks came with a 1-piece bumper that doesn't have those seams in it, and that's what I went ahead and put on the truck. The grill was just stock. I just got a new one. Again, it was just a cheap overseas import, nothing special. I think it was like $35 for a new one. And then what else did it need? Well, the clear corners came with the new chrome bezels, so that was handled. And oh, to switch to that bumper, you are going to also need the correct bumper brackets for the 96-97 bumper. So if you guys want to do that upgrade, you can modify your factory bumper brackets, but it's just a million times easier to just buy the brackets that bolt it on. So I did that. That got everything pretty well good on the front nose, although in order to get the headlight to line up a lot more correctly, it was never quite perfect because, like I said, I planned on painting the truck at some point. I was going to fix it then. but the headlight was sitting probably about an inch behind the grill because of the impact the truck had taken on that front right corner. So I'll show you a couple of quick video clips of me just pounding and banging and tweaking on the that front right corner, but I never really got it perfect, and I didn't take a lot of video of it because, you know, I was racing against the clock. The sun was going to start going down, and I just wanted to get it done. So when the camera ran out of space or battery or whatever the case was, I just kept on going. So just to give you an idea of the kind of tools I was using, what I was dealing with, just to give you an idea what the damage looked like, I'll show you those videos. Alright, so now once I had the front end all back together, had the headlight lined up halfway decent, it was time to go ahead and update the headlights as well. So I like white. I don't really like blue or purple or pink or any of those other colors for a headlight, and I certainly don't like the stock look of the, you know, this kind of brownish looking dull headlights that came out of the factory. So I went with a 5000K color temperature light, which is pretty much a pure white, and I went with an HID setup, which so I used an H4 bulb. I used an H4 bulb. It's just a weird word sometimes. And the way I fit it into the truck was I took the seal beams out and I got some Hella brand glass headlight housings that accept an H4 bulb. Those are just universal for any, I forget the size exactly on those square headlights, but you know, the single rectangle headlight setup has the same size headlight on most cars. So it's just a universal part you can buy. Again, Hella makes them out of glass, so I went ahead and got those. They got nice reflectors and nice lenses on them, so the light beams look good, and that allowed me to put those H4 HIDs in it, and you know, there's a picture of those. So that was really nice. That was a big upgrade in lighting. It made it a lot better at night to drive this thing around. Alright, so the taillights I used were just LED taillights that you can get on eBay still even today. I don't know if there's a specific name brand out there making them, but there's a lot of guys on eBay selling them. I'm sure they're all coming out of the same factory overseas. But they worked very well, and they actually looked really good. There are some other options from some of the markets. I think this truck was called a Navara overseas, and I think that in Thailand, I want to say, they had a different taillight setup, which was, I think, red-white, just red and white without the amber section. And that pretty much rounds out the lighting on the exterior of the truck. Except for the one thing I mainly forgot. The third brake light. So that year, the 95s, 96, 97s, they have a third brake light. So it's kind of corpy looking, to be honest with you. And back then, when I was building the truck, there weren't really any aftermarket options that bolted right in. I think you can buy clear ones now with LED lights in them that actually just fit right into the place of the stock one. But back then you couldn't. And rather than shaving it, I decided that since the truck sat so low, I really did want to make sure I had high visibility to the rear of me. Because at the time I was living in Los Angeles, and there's a ton of traffic, and you're constantly stopping on the freeway and stop and go traffic. And I didn't want somebody not noticing I was stopping because my headlights were sitting low, and you know, plowing into my tailgate and taking out my taillights. So I went ahead and decided I wanted to keep the third brake light, but I didn't like the one I had. So I had access to a 9-inch Putco tailgate bar, is what it's called. They still sell these things. If you're wondering why mine looks different, it's because I tinted it with a taillight tint. So it's like a really dark red paint basically, so it kind of smokes your lights out. So I used that to turn it from a clear lens into a dark red lens. So during the day it really blended into the truck, you didn't really notice it, but at night it lit up just fine and you could see it really well. Now the reason I wanted to go with this light is because not only did it sit closer to the cab, it was more flush, so it was a cleaner, sleeker look, but it's also pre-wired for turn signals, which means if you can run turn signals, you can also run your hazards. So I went ahead and wired that in using a factory connector behind the dome light, ran a new harness, you know, through the cab of the truck, and tied it into the rear body harness down by the passenger seat. Got that all cleaned up, nice, soldered in place, made everything look factory, and so that was real nice. Could just plug it in. I use riv nuts or threaded rivets because if you watch my videos, you're going to see me using a ton of those things. They're perfect for attaching things to sheet metal. So I was able to just, drill 2 new mounting holes because the 9-inch tailgate bar is wider than the factory brake light. So we put the rivet nuts in, screwed the thing down with some silicone sealer, and it worked out really nice. It was really cool. When you throw on the right turn signal, the right half of the tailgate bar would blink along with the tail light. So it looked really cool. And I don't unfortunately have any video of that, but I have like a still shot where you can kind of see the lights on. It's pretty lame, but I'll throw it in here anyway, just so you guys can see it. So that wraps up the lighting on the truck. So the other thing I needed to deal with was that front fender. It was just a black oxidized, just had the factory primer on it, one of those cheap import fenders you can buy for 50 bucks or whatever on eBay. That's what it had on it, and they don't really fit that well, but I was fortunate, very fortunate. I was able to find a factory front fender that was the same color as the truck. So it saved me the effort of trying to repaint it or paint it black or something that wouldn't quite match. So I was able to get that fender and put it on the truck, which saved me a ton of work. It was in okay shape. There were some scratches and dings and stuff along on the top edge of it where, it had been like stored upside down or something. So, it needed a little bit of work, but basically since I had it off the truck and since I was going to be running a underdash antenna, I decided to go ahead and shave the factory antenna location. So the factory location's got a square hole and a round hole for the bolt to go through. And if I had a TIG welder at the time, it would have been just as easy to make some couple little patches and just TIG it all together. But because I don't have to worry so much about warping the panel with heat. But since I was MIGging it up and it's harder to work with after you MIG it, I decided let's just simplify the process. So I just cut them both out and made one square hole. And then I made a patch. Now you can just throw a square patch in there and cover it up with body filler if you want. But I went ahead and contoured my piece of metal to the curve of the top of the fender in both directions before I cut my square patch out, so that it was the same had the same amount of crown to it as the fender itself did. So it required a minimum of body filler to get it looking right. So I went ahead and welded that in, taking my time to just do a tack here and a tack there and go do other stuff in between, so I didn't warp the panel at all. And then I ground it all smooth, both on the top and the bottom. Spray painted the bottom of it to protect it from rust, and then on the top side I went ahead and put a thin coat of body filler just to get it perfect, sanded it all down, made it look right, and then I just went ahead and used a gloss black on this thing, again using a rattle can. I just made it gloss black because the truck was such a dark color. No one really noticed that I had done that. Once you put the clear coat on it, spray paint again. So once I had that all done, painted, put the clear coat on it, it came out really smooth. You can see an angle I'm going to show you from the front of the fender looking along the top, and it came out really smooth. And I also took that opportunity to fix all those other clear coat issues on the top of the fender. And the point being that because it was a dark color and I used black, the truck looked good at night, which is kind of all I really cared about. I wasn't going to car shows during the day at that time. I was going to cruise nights, so it was usually dark anyway, and I just wanted the thing to look smooth and glossy when it drove under the lights and stuff. And so it was something most people didn't even notice I had modified. They couldn't tell the paint didn't match, and even in the daylight it wasn't really that noticeable. So if you got a dark colored vehicle like that, you can probably get away with black, just as a temporary fix. Like I said, I was going to paint the truck later. Okay, and another body mod I made was, I called it flush mounting the quarter windows. Not really flush mounting them, just basically taking the rubber trim off of them. There's a piece of rubber that goes all the way around the quarter windows. And it's basically just there to protect the edge of the glass and to cover the hinge. They don't serve any functional purpose as far as keeping water out or anything like that. So you can totally take them off and it doesn't affect anything. It just makes the window gap look a little bigger, but it really cleans up the look, I think, and makes it a little more modern looking and a lot less. It just looks weird, having this big fat rubber lip around the whole thing. So that's something you can do pretty easily. You just razor blade that thing off of there. I wire brushed it, I think, to get it off of the hinge. Sanded the hinge down to where it was bare metal. Sorry, there's a bug just went up there. And as you can see in these clips here, I sanded down the hinge once I had all the rubber cleaned off. Got in there with a Q-tip, made sure I got all the dirt and stuff out of the cracks, made sure I got everything out of there that might keep the paint from sticking. And then I used basically a semi-gloss black, kind of like a trim black, with a little more shine to it. And I repainted the hinge itself. So that really cleaned the thing up. You don't really notice the hinge that way, and the glass looks a lot cleaner. I also opened up the mounting holes for the window, just a hair, so I could have some play in it, so I could get the windows lined up really well with the roof and the body, because from the factory they're just kind of hucked in there. These are work trucks, the doors and everything else aren't lined up perfectly on them from the factory. So, you know, when you want to really make it nice and have all your gaps right, you got to do a little work. So I did that on the rear windows. What else can I say about that? Oh, taking them out, it's kind of a pain in the butt if you just want to do this mod and this mod alone. It does require removing most of the interior from the back of the extended cab section. I don't think, if I remember correctly, you can't just take the upper panels off, but you have to get those off to get to the mounting bolts for the quarter windows and to remove the latches and whatnot. So I think you have to take the jump seats out, and then you have to take the bottom panels out that are behind the jump seats, and then once those panels are out, you can access the fasteners for the upper panels. You also have to take the seatbelt bolt out, I'm pretty sure, for the shoulder, the bolt that goes up here. Once you got all that stuff out, then you can get the quarter windows out. And it's a good time to tint them too while you got it out, because it's just a lot easier to do when it's out of the vehicle. So if you want to tint those windows and you want to do this mod, you kind of should do it all at the same time. Alright, so that wraps up this episode. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you got something out of it. As always, if I said something stupid, go ahead and let me know in the comments. If you have any more questions or if I forgot to cover something correctly, you know, let me know. Maybe I'll make a video at some point where I correct all my mistakes. But otherwise, just go ahead and comment so that other guys who are trying to get ideas or trying to figure out what the heck I'm talking about, maybe that'll help them out if you guys are commenting about it. So thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm getting older, and I know there's a lot of young guys working on these mini trucks and stuff, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. So thanks a bunch for watching, and take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time.
The beat as things I did 20 years ago. What I did 20 years ago is what they're doing